Now I'm going to teach you the derivative, the power rule for positive and negative numbers. So the derivative of x, of function x to the power of a constant k is equal to k times x to the power of k minus 1. So here all you did was get this k, place it on this side, and then subtract 1 to it. Let's look at some examples to understand it better. The derivative of x to the power of 3 is equal to 3x squared. So as before, you get this number, send it on this side, and then subtract 1 to it. And that's how you get 2. Another example is the derivative of x to the power of 1/2. Here you do the same thing as before. Place a 1/2 on the left of x, and then subtract 1 1 to 1/2, and you end up with negative 1/2. Here you notice that we have x to the power of a negative number, and for that we're going to use this formula: x to the power of a negative constant k is equal to 1 over x to the power of the constant k. So here x to the power of negative 1/2 is the same thing as saying 1 over x to the power of 1/2. And x to the power of 1/2 is equal to the square root of x. Now we can replace this with that and get 1/2 times 1 over the square root of x, and that is equal to 1 over 2 and the square root of x. Now let's look at what happens when we have x to the power of a negative value. So the derivative of x to the power of negative 10. Here it's not very different. We do the same thing. Place 10 on the left side of x, negative 10 times x to the power of negative 11, because negative 10 minus 1 equals negative 11. So since we have x to the power of a negative value, we use this formula again and end up with negative 10 over x to the power of 11.